But at the moment, DXY had a bit of a move to the downside. Yeah, we were a little bit bullish on stream yesterday, but price did find some resistance and had a bit of a reaction. Altogether, I have to say price action is very choppy for the DXY. We pushed up. I said there's a couple of areas where we might see some downside from this area and this area here as well. So as you can see, brief pause in the market, big drop to the downside. Of course, support there as well, big drop to the downside. So naturally, those are areas where we could see sellers looking to get back into the market and see some reactions. And this first area, we did see a bit of a move there as well. So nice move to the downside there for the dollar. Haven't quite come back to these lows. That's why I was looking for price to come into yesterday. I said either one of these areas could send us back into the lows and then potentially these lows down here as well. I haven't quite seen that yet. We still could, but things are definitely looking very choppy at the moment. So I think with the dollar, I mean, I'm not really looking to trade many USD pairs at the moment, apart from dollar CAD. Dollar CAD I do like to the downside. We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, DXY overall is very, very choppy. We're neither taking out lows and we're neither taking out highs right now. That prior high was respected. This low so far is being respected as well. So we really need to see price start breaking through these lows or these highs to give us a bit more clarity in terms of direction. If we stay within this range, we could consolidate and price action could get quite choppy. And to be fair, it kind of is already choppy, but I'm still looking for a push to this low here. It might be a situation when price has another move to the upside first before coming back down. So that's kind of what I'm still looking for the dollar. So overall, still looking for a bit more weakness. But in terms of the long-term move, since we are still respecting this low, I'm still overall bullish, but I'm a bit more relaxed in that bias. It's not more as confident as I was last week or the week before. Of course, when we had that clear uptrend with those higher highs and higher lows, things look very clear. Clear trend, clear momentum, clear highs being taken out. However, now that's not the reality as much anymore. So with the DXY, I'm kind of just waiting for some momentum from somewhere. Like I said, whether we're breaking through lows or breaking through highs, not really too bothered as a trader at the end of the day. We're just looking for a good opportunity, whether it's buying or selling isn't really our concern, really. So in terms of the dollar, still looking for a move back to these lows here. Longer term move, still bullish, but definitely not as confident as I was last week or the week before when we had a bit more clarity in terms of the trend. In terms of EURUSD is pretty much the same thing as well. Price is very choppy as well with this one. I was favoring move to the upside yesterday, and we did see some of that as well. I said I'm looking for a pushback to 1.043. Haven't quite got there yet, but yeah, things are still looking quite choppy. Failing at the high is not a great sign. Again, price may want to push down first before seeing that move. But still, things look very, very choppy with EURUSD as well. We came back into this consolidation here. Looks like price is really struggling to break through that area, which could indeed give us a pretty big sell. We still do have those lower highs intact, and this could be another one. If that's the case, that might take us back down to that low. But nothing's really clear right now. That's the main thing I'm getting at with the USD pairs. It's not clear cut. Of course, you can speculate in terms of direction. I think price might do this, price might do that. But there will be times where things are looking very, very good and things are looking very clear, and there's a high probability that something might happen. And those are the times you want to be looking to place your trades. And there'll be times where things are looking a little bit more unclear. And that's the time you want to kind of park the brakes and take a back seat and wait for the market to become clear before you do start placing on trades. So really, with EURUSD, things are getting quite choppy right now. We had some really nice bearish trends not long ago, but things are getting a little bit choppy now. So kind of just waiting for more information, more momentum, really, either breaking through highs or breaking through lows. That's really what I'm looking for EURUSD to do, because once we do that, clarity, the market will become a lot clearer, and I can start to probably predict a bit more of a trend. But right now, we're very flat, and we're kind of just in the middle of this kind of range here. So worst place to be. You want to be down at the low or up at the high. You can use that to your advantage a lot more than when you're right in the middle. So yeah, price action not really great. Like I said, still looking for a push to the upside. So that's kind of still the play I'm looking at, but nothing I'm looking to trade personally. And it's not really looking that great in terms of confluence either. So personally, I would stay away from Euro USD. Pound USD, similar situation as well. There was a short opportunity for me earlier in the week, well, yesterday, off the retest of the high. I decided to stay out of the market. So the entry signal came with that 4-hour candle closure there on that double top, basically respecting that price support turn resistance. So the plan was looking to short at that high for potentially a big swing to the low. Of course, I'll be looking at trail stops and locking gains along the way. But the risk reward did look good for that position, but I decided to stay away because I'm not a big fan of how he got back to the level for the double top. Normally, when price is giving me double top patterns, I want to see price create the high, then slowly pull back into the double top, and then I'll look for my opportunities. Those typically have a pretty good win rate in terms of at least giving you a reaction at that high. Of course, whether price completely drops, that's a different question. But in terms of a good reaction, the corrective pullbacks are really good to look for. When we have impulsive, it can be a sign that price wants to continue higher. So those I tend to stay away from. That's kind of what we got here with pound USD. Nice respect of that level, bit of consolidation, strong drops downside, of course, with the gap. Then price recovered that very aggressively. And although it was a really nice rejection with the wicks and the candle closure, I wasn't really convinced, so I decided to stay out the market there for pound USD. Hasn't really gone too far, in fairness, since that entry signal. If you entered here, price is right here. Of course, it did have a lovely drop. We did have the Bank of England interest rates, which pound was looking pretty bearish from. But again, USD is the main driving force for this one. Although we were expecting to see a weak pound, it's going to have to be a very, very weak pound for us to really kind of plummet, because USD is the main governing force. If USD is going to be strong, pound USD will fall. If USD is going to be weak, pound USD will rise. But in terms of opportunities now with pound, again, I'm not really seeing much clarity in that either. Maybe if we can respect the high here, there might be a nice sell potentially to take us back down again, back into the lows. Bit more of an intraday setup as we come back and retest the levels here. But again, nothing kind of clear cut. So personally, I'm staying away from pound USD as well. I think if you are looking to trade it intraday, it makes a bit more sense. But swing, I'll kind of just wait for things to develop and find better opportunities later on. In terms of dollar CAD, like I said, this is actually one pair I do like for dollar. Still within the range, so I still need to see price break out if I'm going to look for the breaking retest of the low, because again, still looking at this as a massive fake out, especially considering the level which we got to for dollar CAD, which was back at major resistance, which is this level here. As you can see, massive rejection once, big push to the downside, second rejection there, big move to the downside, and you can see we're there for a third time. So potentially we could see a massive move to the downside, but I'm not necessarily looking for something like that. All I'm looking to see is I can catch the reaction. There's a big level of resistance just below us, which is going to be acting as support. I wonder, can we see a move back to that area? I think that's pretty reasonable. There's two ways I'm looking to play this. One's a bit more aggressive, one's a bit more conservative. The more conservative trade will be waiting for price to break to the downside to confirm to us, okay, momentum is truly with the bears because we're breaking through really strong support. So waiting for the break of that support level, then pullbacks and so on and so forth, expecting the push back down to that weekly zone we just mapped out. Or the slightly more aggressive trade is waiting for price to push back to the high of the range and then looking for your shorts up there and seeing if you can catch the bigger move from there. Of course, it's a bit more aggressive because number one, we're still respecting support. Number two, we're still trapped in the range. And number three, you could catch a nice move, but price may just bounce at the support again and go against you. So you have to manage that trade accordingly. You can take some profits, go to break even or trail stops, up to you, but it's a little bit more aggressive because we're still within the range, whereas this has shown signs of breaking out the range. So pullbacks and continuations are a little bit more likely. But I still like dollar CAD because I'm trying to use this massive fake out to my advantage, knowing that a lot of traders will be shorting this, as they're expecting a top to form for dollar CAD. And of course, with the gap for this week, that would have flushed a lot of positions out. So I'm kind of looking to see if we can use that liquidity to fund a move to the downside, but not quite there yet. So keep a close eye on Aussie dollar, USD CAD, sorry. Moving on to Aussie dollar. This one, again, not looking too great either. I'm still looking at this as a range. We took out highs over there. We took out lows over here. So again, not really getting much direction here for Aussie dollar. Is price trying to create higher highs and higher lows, or low lows and low highs? It's undecided, really. So as I said yesterday, for Aussie dollar, if this is going to be a bit of a bottom, because again, we have been trending to the downside for quite a while. So this could be the bottom for Aussie dollar. I also like the price action on the daily chart. Really strong daily candle there after that big wick to the downside. So it looks like price is trying to form a bit of a low. So if that's the case, I want price to break the high again to show me that, okay, we're back bullish again because we're taking out highs. And then I'll be looking for the next high low afterwards to take to the upside and so on and so forth. And there'll probably be some sells later on as we come back to some areas on the left. But for now, there could be some nice buys if this is the low. But I do need to see that higher high be created first. Then I'll start looking for some higher lows shortly afterwards. But at the moment, of course, we're not doing that. And the way I see a price right now is just within a range. So yeah, just not really interested much with price action in here because overall there's no real direction or real momentum to it. So yeah, very, very much just waiting to see what happens with Aussie dollar. Then hopefully there'll be some opportunities once we do get a breakout. Same situation with New Zealand dollar, ranging as well. We took out highs there, took out lows down here as well. So overall, there is no real direction to the market, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing when we've been trending to the downside for a very, very long time. This could be price forming a bit of a bottom. It could just be a bit of a pause before price continues. That could be the situation as well. We'll find out once we get the breakout. But if this is going to be a bit of a bottom, then again, I want to see price take out highs, then look for the pullback, and then more upside. And then this becomes a really nice trade opportunity. But as we stay within the range, things are just very awkward. Not really looking to do too much here. And just really looking to kind of stay away from price for New Zealand dollar. So yeah, not really much to report on. Intraday, I'll kind of stay away as well. I did talk about some buys yesterday, which kind of come through, but again, nothing really meaningful there for New Zealand dollar. In terms of gold, I think we had a bit of a reaction yesterday, a bit of a drop, yeah, a bit of a spike there, but it has followed through to the upside pretty well. Haven't created new highs yet, but looks like we're about to push into resistance there. So we'll see what price does. In terms of long opportunities, I did speak about this brief range here, which looks like it held pretty well. And if you're probably looking to get long again, I would either wait for price to break highs and pull back or pull back into that same area. So if we do have another drop into that level, that could be a nice place to long, trying to catch the next high or low in this sequence. And of course, targets back at the high, so on and so forth. Or if we just go and break the high, then look for the next kind of wave afterwards. Either way, still looking to ride momentum for gold. Again, that bigger pullback is going to happen at some point. But we haven't been breaking through support yet. Still respecting higher highs and higher lows. So I still remain pretty bullish here with gold. I still do expect higher highs. And in terms of silver, silver's actually one that I'm really liking. Didn't quite test the level I was mentioning yesterday, unfortunately. Just missed it. As you can see, that you just missed it by the smallest proportions, but it still looks like a really good opportunity. In fact, it looks a little bit better now, actually, because the fact that we just missed it, if price can go and test that level, maybe wick through it a little bit as well, that could be a really nice setup to look at. Again, looking to try and catch the next higher low in the sequence there. 1, 2, 3. We've taken out the highs, which I was mentioning yesterday, which is very, very important because it kind of invalidates this bearish structure here. So the chances of us of getting a big move to the downside and seeing new lows is a lot less now. And I'm expecting the continuation of this bullish trend here. So very, very bullish in silver, bullish in gold as well. The fact that gold's flying to the sky kind of gives me a bit more confidence in buying silver as well, knowing that gold is so bullish. So the plan really is just to try and find that higher low. It still looks good at this area here at 31.7. So that's where my attention lies. And then longer term, looking to see if we can take silver all the way back up to 34.842. Yeah, hopefully we can get into a trade of that size. But yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with gold, silver, and the USD pairs.